we about to have a problem because folks is being mad loud. Like we don't have to sign up. So creating Love at First Night has impacted my life in so many different ways. It has been like 3 years since we had did No Shade, and I was nervous about going on auditions and being on other people's sets, and I was kind of spoiled. So it was just like, I'm gonna create a show and I'm gonna be in it. But what ended up happening was that I got more involved with the behind the scenes stuff. I got more involved with learning about more production stuff, lighting, just editing, all that type of stuff. I just got more immersed in that. And so that really impacted, in terms of like my career, like what I want to do. Like now I can call myself a filmmaker, and I didn't see that happening. I definitely didn't have the foresight for that. The most memorable experience would be the very first screening that we had for season 1 of Love at First Night. I remember that day clearly. It was hot. It was the beginning of summer, and so many people came out. We did it at a bar, and it was packed from front door to back door. They had a backyard that was packed. Then it was people like in the front of the building, like they couldn't even see the show. They had to listen to it. But just the fact that all those people came out and supported, and we had Mojo Disco host, and she did a poem, and then we had Brian perform, and like I remember the speakers were so damn low, but it was all love, and it was dope. And actually, as I'm saying it, it was like a mini Slave Fest, because that's pretty much what Slave Fest is: film, performances, host Mojo Disco, all that. So it was so memorable to me because it was just like seeing everyone's reactions and watching the show with everyone. It was my first project, so it was just like I was welcomed with warm reception. My craziest interaction with a supporter, when I first created Love at First Night, I was working for New York City Transit. I had a whole full-time job with the city. And I remember one night, I was still on probation, full uniform, going into the back room on my lunch break, and this girl comes up to me, and I'm thinking like she's a customer. She's about to ask me some questions about directions. She's probably gonna curse me out. I don't know what's gonna happen. But she was like all up on my right side, and I'm just like, why are you so close? Not realizing she's coming up to me like, oh my God, are you the guy, on the show? And I love Love at First Night and all this type of stuff. And I'm like, oh. She pulled out her phone and wanted to take a picture. I had the New York City Transit logo on my right side, so I had to like turn this way, and then I had the hat on, so I had to take it off. And she was really cool. She was sweet. And when people recognize me in the street, or they take the time to come up and tell me how much they love the show, I never want to say no. You know what I mean? Like, that's whack. But it was just crazy because I was at work and I wasn't even thinking about it, but it happened. All right, how would I describe each of the cast members? So, Kyle. I would describe Kyle as, he's like a coach. I guess a lot of people don't notice about Kyle, but he like all-American sports. Like I think he's played every sport. And so he comes from that kind of like, he has like that coach mentality. He brings it on set. So it's just kind of like, come on, let's go type of energy. Kyle is also very witty. Like it's almost to the point where it's like, how does he, his clapbacks is like really crazy. Like it's just like right there, which I think is so dope. Ramad, he is just a sweetheart. And me and Ramad have fun all the time. Like Ramad gets my humor. So a lot of times, like I would say something and he'll be like all the way in the corner just cracking up like, oh, he got it, okay, great. And we just always have a good time. We have the greatest conversations. We have a lot in common. And so we always just have a great time. So the artist formerly known as Chip, aka Chris, I love his energy. He has the greatest energy. Like when he walks into a room, he just brings like a vibe with him. Like he brings this vibe of just like fun, and he's just like so smart and like, introspective, and he's nothing I feel like because he plays Alex so well, people just assume that that's who he is in real life. But he's such the opposite. He's a very caring individual. He's very intuitive. Danielle, my dear, dear cousin, we go way back. Me and her, we're about, what, 2 years apart? So we basically grew up with each other until she moved to North Carolina and left me. But she's a sweetheart. She is such a sweet, sweet individual. Like I admire her creativity. I always just stand her, like I stand for her as a music artist, as a musical genius, and the world has not seen what she can do yet. And I cannot wait for her to shine. She's so smart. She's so multi-talented. Just even as an actress, the way she turns it on and off, like she is a superstar, like hands down. Rich, me and Rich go way back to the Goons vs. Gays days. I just always admired him as a performer. He just turns it on, turns it off, and he commits down to the bone of whatever it is that he's playing. And I admire that as someone who also likes to act. It's just kind of like, how does he take it there? But he is a disciplined student of acting, and he takes that shit seriously, and I respect that 100%. I love talking to him. We have a lot of fun, just talking shit. Like, that's my guy. Winston, my fellow Cancerian brother, like our birthday is a couple days apart. He's a key. I love him. I love Winston. We always have a good time. I love watching him go back and forth with Kyle and Ramon, and damn near everybody pretty much. Another witty one, like just watching him and Kyle go back and forth is like the funniest shit ever. Like they need their own TV show. Ronetta is one of my favorite people to work with. She just kind of brought the character to life. When she came into the show season 2, she just came right in, and everything just kind of worked, just interacting with the actors and bringing Miss Phils to life. And you know, she's been part of the family ever since. So I love Ronetta. Yikes. So this is a loaded question. What do I have planned for life after Love at First Night? Bitch, I don't even know. What I have planned for after Love at First Night is a whole lot of different things. I'm still creatively finding myself, trying different things. I definitely will be getting back in front of the camera. I will be writing more. I'm gonna stay busy. Like, I'm just gonna stay busy creating, trying new things, and just going from there. That's pretty much it. Season 3 of Love at First Night is basically the resolution, and you can expect to see a lot of like full circle moments, you know, people coming to terms with the actions that they've had throughout the season so far. You can expect to see growth. You can expect to see growth, maturity. You can expect to see people are still going to make mistakes. You know, everyone's human. You can expect to see a little more mess. Like, you know, the mess it has no expiration date. It just happens because we're human, and humans are innately fucking messy. And you can expect to just see quality. Like I've said, you know, coming into this project, I become fully immersed in learning everything about production. So I was very, very adamant about coming back this season with not only better storytelling, but production-wise, better quality. So you can expect that. And last but not least, expect to be entertained. That's it.